And you see, the funny thing is that I wasn't even going to review this album. I wasn't gonna. I don't know why. I liked some of their past material, but I just wasn't gonna do it. But then I turned to my friend. After I got all those comments, and I said, "Fuck it, dog. Life's a risk." What's up, everyone? John from ARTV. Sometimes I make myself laugh. It's time for a review of FIDLAR's second album. It's called 2. Had a lot of you guys asking for this one in the comments, and I remember enjoying what I had heard off of that debut album. I only listened to the album like once or twice maybe, but there were a few songs that stood out to me. And then I checked out songs like 40 Ounce on Repeat and West Coast from this new record, and I was like, hell yes. I don't know why it took me so long to get to this record, but now listening through this thing, I am having a blast. There's so many songs that are just fun, upbeat, just fast-paced riffs, and like sporadic drumming, and just some crazy bass lines, and everything just falls into a nice groove, but it's kind of counterbalanced by these lyrics that are much more personal and introspective, and just see a man kind of spiraling out of control. Their singer is just talking about alcoholism and trying to get sober and just dealing with these people in his life that are just basically jumping down his throat and trying to get him to come clean whenever they won't even help him out. So it's just a record that's kind of plays with your emotions, because you don't know exactly what to feel while you're listening to it. You don't just want to sit there and say, oh yeah, this is just fun, and then don't read into it at all, because that would kind of miss the point. But at the same time, you can't help but tap your foot along to some of these songs. I love it whenever bands make you kind of conflicted like that, and I think of like stuff like 21 Pilots and even some of Waves' stuff, which is what this reminds me of. I think FIDLAR kind of remind me of Waves, but on steroids, circa like King of the Beach type music. But anyways, with this new FIDLAR record, I have to say that they stepped up their performances, the vocals have improved, everything about this just seems like they nailed it for the most part. There's some songs that don't stick with me as much as others, especially the little lull that comes near the end of this record, starting with the track Hey Johnny, and then it's kind of picked up again by a track that I really do like, Stupid Decisions. It's just got like a crazy hook that'll just get stuck in your head. Stupid Decisions! And then it falls off again with the track right after that, Bad Medicine. So I kind of have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with the middle section of this record, but other than that, I think it's pretty much a great album through and through. Jay Joyce did the production on this, and he's kind of hit or miss as of late. You might remember him for earlier this year producing the new Hailstorm record, which I didn't care for. I think that he managed not to fuck things up. He didn't really mess with their sound all that much. He just kind of fine-tuned things. I like the fuzz of the guitars that comes through on a lot of these tracks, and I love the kind of rambling vocal style that he gives on tracks like Sober and the closing track, which is one of my favorite songs of this entire year, called Bad Habits. It's just kind of a meltdown happening on tape. He's ranting and raving about all of these people in his life that just aren't coming together, aren't coming through for him. He just wants to kind of get out and do his own thing, and it just plays out in kind of a fantastic glory. It's like a plane going down in flames. No one's in the plane though, so you know it's all going to be okay. At least you hope it is. I don't know. It's kind of a weird analogy, but that's just what popped into my head. I'm a little bit more mixed towards some of the tracks that I already mentioned, and of course the track Drone as well. It's just one that feels a little bit average compared to what this band FIDLAR usually puts out. However, I love tracks like Punks, which definitely packs a punch to it, gives a little bit of an edge, and then we have the track West Coast right after that has more of a poppy appeal, and I could see that being a kind of a crossover hit almost, and being something that could be accepted by mainstream listeners, and pretty much anyone could get into a song like that. 40 Ounce on Repeat, though, is the first song that I heard off of this record. It kicks things off, and it is just fantastic. It's such a breath of life into this genre. It's like punk leaning, but it definitely has an alternative almost approach to it. It's just one of those tracks that you can't help but smile while you listen along. Now, things don't always have to be extremely upbeat in order for me to be interested in them, hence the track Overdose, which comes near the end of this thing. It's just a really introspective track, I think mainly about Zach Carper, one of the vocalists for this band. I think there's a couple that do like backing vocals and that sort of thing, but I think Zach is kind of the primary one, obviously, because you do hear kind of a connection through and through. You do hear those backing vocals popping up here and there, but this track is mainly focused on him. Now, things do pick up in intensity towards the end of this track especially, but I just love how it's basically like a diary being read aloud. He's kind of chronicling thoughts and that sort of thing, and I like whenever a track can do that and still feel cohesive and not like it's rambling. Basically, there's a lot of good songs on this thing. There's some that aren't going to hit you quite as hard as others, but for the most part I found this to be a pretty gripping and electrifying at times listen with some phenomenal songs, and just great mixing, production, and even the lyrical content is just leagues above some of their contemporaries. For me personally, for the new FIDLAR record 2, I'm feeling a strong 4. If you've heard 2 by the California Skate Punkers, let me know your thoughts on it down below. Smash that like button while you're at it. Subscribe to the channel because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If there are other albums you'd like to see me review, let me know with a comment. You can click right here to go to my second channel, or right here to see the last review that I did. Other than that, I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.